Now, I know that some of you who live in BC, like me, think that those that identify as their elected officials pretty much do nothing. Well, I'm here to let you know that nothing could be further from the truth. In fact, if you had any doubts as to how committed these men and women are to solving your everyday problems, this story should lay those to rest. Appropriately, on April 1st, the fools that run this province on your dime and mine started offering prescribed contraceptives free of charge to those who want them. So much for foreplay, huh? Premier Eby and his crew just got down to business when it comes to screwing you and me once again. So now, more than 60 commonly used forms of birth control are included in the initiative, a move that's being widely celebrated and sparking calls for other jurisdictions to follow suit. Makes sense. Why should BC elected officials be the only ones on a spending orgy? Elected officials from coast to coast should be bending taxpayers over and governing them harder. This is a fantastic policy. We couldn't be more excited, said Teal Phelps-Bondorf, co-founder of Access BC, which has long campaigned for the change. It's a huge step for reproductive justice, and it's a huge way of improving people's access to contraception. First off, people's access? Are you kidding me? You mean there's no pharmacy at every corner that sells this stuff? Next, you got to give it to these leftist activists though. Reproductive justice, man. What exactly does that mean? Where's the justice part? Usually, you seek justice when something unjust has been done to you or a crime has been committed. For the most part, minus of course the rare exception, given these folks know how to work a smartphone, we're talking about the ones who decided to have a little sexy time together, they should have known what the consequences are as well. But instead, I'm the one who should be cleaning up the mess? I mean, it's not like I was expecting the NDP government to be running ads on abstaining from sex. I mean, that would be crazy. I already know they promote every possible version, a bizarre version of it. But I think the only one who deserves reproductive justice is me, given I'm once again being screwed over royally so their voter base can continue to live a life without consequences. So, what kind of contraceptives are we talking here? Well, they include oral, IUDs, hormone implants, hormone injections, and emergency oral contraceptives like Plan B, for which no prescription is needed. We didn't even think to ask for Plan B, Phelps-Bondorf said. It's great to see that included in the policy. Yeah, it's amazing how generous Eby and his crew are with my money. Phelps-Bondorf said he hopes BC's move will inspire other provinces, territories, and the federal government to adopt a similar program. Yeah, I can see it spreading now, just like herpes, from coast to coast. Partially covered oral contraceptives include Alice 21 and 28, Marvelon 21 and 28, and Mini Oraval 21 and 28. Non-prescribed methods of birth control are not sadly covered, such as cervical caps, diaphragms, sponges, patches, rings, and condoms. Well, that's simply reproductive injustice, man, against the non-prescribed. I can hear the battle cry now, brothers and sisters, give me rubbers or give me death. Well, I think that has kind of a nice ring to it. Brand name products may not be covered either. Oh, dude, now that smacks of brand injustice, comrade. If a patient is taking a brand name contraceptive and pharmacare covers the generic alternative, then pharmacare will cover 100% of the cost of the generic alternative, and the patient will be responsible for the difference, according to a fact sheet put out by the provincial government. For 100% coverage, though, the patient can request that the prescriber or pharmacist change their prescription to the generic alternative. You mean the cheap-ass taxpayers of BC are only willing to pay for a generic brand? That's reproductive injustice, man. When will it ever stop? At a Friday news conference, Premier David Eby said the province is open to adding other contraceptives to the universal coverage program in the months and years to come. Well, hoping that you're not going to be around for the months and years to come in terms of being our leader. Let's hope anyway. If I've got another technology that might work, David, it's tried, tested, and true. Plus, it's 100% effective. And I'm not saying it's the only solution, but maybe, just maybe, we could throw it out there. Abstinence. Well, at least to the 12-year-olds. Given your government's commitment to starting them in sex ed from kindergarten, At least they won't be having a head start. So, what's the cost for all this? Well, it's expected to come in at $119 million over 3 years. That's a lot of fun. The province estimates it could save someone taking birth control pills about $300 a year, while someone taking hormonal injections could save roughly $140 a year, and residents opting for IUDs can save around $380. So, in other words, I'll now be paying anywhere from $140 to $380 for people to have sex. Okay. As part of the program, pharmacists will now also be able to prescribe most contraceptives. EB said this initiative will go a long way for folks who don't have a family doctor, who can also obtain prescriptions from nurse practitioners, midwives, or doctors, or at walk-in clinics, hospitals, or street nurse programs. We have an important initiative to get more British Columbians family doctors, but don't let that stand in the way of going to a sexual health clinic in your community to access important services, he added. We know that access to health care is always a challenge in rural communities. There are very few small communities in the province that don't have access to a pharmacist. Makes perfect sense. Blowing $119 million wad on doling out contraceptives instead of hiring more doctors. Priorities. Anyway, thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. Please post any comments you have in the comment section. You can also follow me on my Rumble and my Locals account. Costs absolutely nothing to do so. Just subscribe. Check out some of the past videos, and of course, share some of your comments with me. And I will see you next time.